Welcome to Daily Meditation with Sangha Live.
Good morning or hello everyone. I hope you hear me well, see me well as well. Thank you, George, for being so inspired this morning in order to introduce Sangha Live and introduce also my work. Of course, a warm greeting to all, but in seeing all the familiar names and what arises that even though from this part of the screen we see nobody, we do not have access to video to see you, but despite this technical arrangement, it feels really, as George mentioned, a sense of community and feeling straight away connected with all of you, saying the name on the chat, and also because of the great warmth and kindness of this Sangha Live, Sangha. So a deep sense of appreciation, to start in such good conditions. So thank you to all. So as George mentioned, we are going to talk or more experience, I hope, or investigate, this term of groundedness to groundlessness, and trying to approach this world from very different perspective. Whether it will be more reflective, at some other time it will be more experiential, and actually that what you may consider as something very interesting along this week, because this is really where there is the opportunity to deepen our understanding, what is the quality in which we engage with this very moment, to really see when slowly when this is experienced and managed through thinking or through reflective dynamic, or when it becomes more experience without any filter. To become more familiar with the texture of both, whether it is physical and emotional, and really to learn slowly to be able to recognize with more ease, what drives this moment. Is it for us right here, right now, really sitting in front of the screen? Is it a moment of aliveness? Or is there more the recognition, that something is driving us here, or is trying to manage this experience in using mental activity, using thinking for that? What is going to be approached all along the week? One aspect is really the tendency that inhabits, I guess, I suspect all of us, the tendency to manage, the tendency to filter, the tendency to avoid what is right here in front of our nose, what is really happening in this moment. And really to consider this not as again, really approaching this with really kindness, gentleness, as you know, that is really central in contemplative practice, and being really cautious on the tendency to also judge the practice, which is another way, again, to try to manage what's here. And just to learn to recognize that these tendency to manage, filter, and avoidance are just usually the result of a long time conditioning or an inheritance, whether it's cultural, whether it's historical. So it's not something really personal. Well, this is really something to remind. Mm. Really to come to see slowly that all of these tendencies are really binding us and usually give rise to a sense of distortion. And what I mean by distortion, I mean distortion the way we perceive reality. And also what is really interests me is how this distorted the way we perceive also oneself. As we all know, we tend to see the reality again with the filter of our own thought, or with the filter of reflection. This very famous quote from Descartes that says, sorry, I only know it in French, but I guess in English it's, I think, therefore I am. And really to learn to notice, when these filters, they fade, fall away, and how this gives the opportunity to perceive who we are in a completely radical, different way. How many times do we realize? It's very simple. It's so simple that we just don't acknowledge. This fact is that I do not. Right now, I do not need to think that I am here in front of the screen in order to exist. I don't have to say, I am Sophie, I am sitting in front of the screen, I am speaking to you. It's really, to pay attention that there is really a kind of a sense of self, a very simple and very basic experience of sensing life within that just make me feel, that I'm here. And this direct experience of being really does not require thinking. I even would like to say that it pre-exists to thoughts. And for us, it's very interesting to really learn but we're going to navigate between the two. And all along the week, this is what I really would like to explore with you. And sometimes you will see even, there won't be, even this hour of practice won't be very really separated. Okay, this is the teaching part, this is the question part, this is the guided part. How can we engage during this hour of practice as a non, just engaging with that as a whole? But for now, let's start really to ground oneself, through all the techniques and the tools that we have to gather attention in this very moment. So for this, I invite you to maybe to readjust your posture, to lie down. You really feel free to lie down, to sit, and to see for yourself what's the best posture in order to support what we are doing together here. And just for a couple of minutes, allow awareness to land, whether it's on the breath, whether it's on sound or physical sensations. Or I don't know if you're familiar with a question or visualization, whatever that will help and support grounding, gathering, attention here and now. And just let's do that in silence for a short time. Grounding oneself, in other words, is just about bringing attention back to senses. Recollecting attention to the body, to senses. Just to tune to what is immediate. Grounding that supports simple and direct participation to what is happening right now. And really to consider that if we have to think about it, it's already too late. Because the immediate does not reflect. It just is. We tune to the immediate in turning into our senses. Because sensation, whether it's a pulse, whether it's a sound coming up, whether it's a mood, whether it's an emotion. This is immediate. Even one movement of thought is immediate. This simple thought, as long as it's recognized immediately, oh, am I meditating right? This movement is the immediate as well. And when we do not try to modify any experience, we enter presence, or this is presence. We do not try to change anything. We do not try to modify anything. Do not try to cultivate any state or to create something better than what it is, or to get rid of something that is not pleasurable. Presence is this wonderful quality of being inclusive. It does not discriminate. And this flow is completely spontaneous, innocent. And thoughts that arise are not enemies. They're just markers for the immediacy. And with this very moment, a thought arises. The moment it occurs, there is immediacy. presents us the capacity for really any experience. Whatever is here, whether it's frustration, sadness, anger, fear, confusion. This is just what is. Am I trying to filter, to discard, to avoid any experience right now? Just noticing if this is what's happening. Mhm. Without judging. Again, nothing here needs to be managed. Or nothing here needs to manage at all. We have a strong tendency to want to understand. But in presence, there is no even need to understand anything at all. Am I trying to change anything right now? Am I trying to understand anything? Am I trying to heal anything? I'm just learning to recognize that tendency. How it feels when the experience of this moment is managed. How it feels when it does not. How's the quality of this moment with every response we have in this body are just simply allowed, beyond our likes and dislike, beyond wanting or not wanting. How presence, or the immediate or naturalness maybe, takes care of itself without effort, in this felt sense, without a me managing this moment. Experiencing this groundless ground. and at your own pace. Transitioning to mobility, maybe eyes closed, to direct sight, to stretching the body, sighing. And in this movement of transition, just noticing where the attention goes straight away. Does it go back to thought? Is it already in the appointment, or maybe what I have to do after the session? Or I just remain in an open, felt sense that this moment, this present offers. Just noticing without paying any judgment. We're not here to try to attain, as I said, any state or to accomplish anything. This is just about meeting immediacy and allow the naturalness of this moment to reveal what it has to offer, to reveal to us.
Today's podcast is an offering to you from our archive of freely available live daily classes. We make wisdom teachings and meditations as freely available as possible to as many people as wish to practice. You can help ensure we can continue to support a worldwide Sangha by leaving a review wherever you get your podcasts, by sharing this with someone who'd be interested, and by offering a small financial support at sangha.live/donate.